Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Tyrone's Tirades in Tamriel. On the last episode, we busted out of prison, escaped through some caves, and started a new life as a mage and a trader. Just want to say thanks to all the people that wrote in and said that I actually need to find things to trade before I become a trader. As it turns out, finding things to sell is no small feat. I racked my brains for which primary industries to exploit, and one of the many suggestions was furs. Because I was poor, I couldn't outsource, which meant that I had to go hunting in the wilds. I'm not very well versed in hunting techniques, so I ended up shooting lightning at things. Upon reflection, it turned out to be animal cruelty, and although I'm against that, I guess I got my product. This revelation didn't stop me harming other creatures though for more furs, and as I chased an elk through the woods, I came across what appeared to be a guard at first. Fearing that I might be apprehended for poaching, I decided to take the initiative even though he was already drawing his bow. And after a few solid hits, the man appeared to surrender. Upon closer inspection, it turns out that he was indeed not a guard, and so I decided to kill him for treason. After a moment of considering what I'd done, I decided to inherit all his stuff, because after all, we are descended from the same family tree, if just a few branches down the line. And then for good measure, I inherited everyone else's stuff. Being force-fed by the media that the mining boom is the only thing keeping the Australian economy going, I decided to get on the ground floor, or in this case, the underground floor. As I approached, it seems as though the filthy liberals had turned this into a low-income housing estate. I had to evict a few loitering hobos before I was even able to gain access to the place. Upon entering the cave, I wonder where all the people are. I am instead greeted by some falling rocks. Avoiding a total party kill, however, I continue onwards to find two miscreants. Obviously late on their dues, I decide to evict them as well for the good of the state. These ones, however, are a little more financially secure and a bit more difficult to evict. As I make my hasty retreat, I sidestep the fallen rocks and they trip up on their own trap. Now seems like a good enough time to discover that I have healing magic in fact, and I end up wasting a lot of time healing myself and overhealing myself for that matter. Not that I'm terribly concerned, there is a bridge blocking my path and I'm free to loot. With a lack of clerks around, I decide to write an angrily worded letter to the manager of the place and turn it into a self-service. Finally, I decide to lower the bridge to allow myself access to the further parts of the cave, however I am greeted with two more people. Hoping that these ones will also trip over the falling rocks, I lead them to the entryway to the cave. It doesn't quite go as planned, however. Ignoring minor technical issues, I decide to continue on, loot everything, and eat all their shit. Evicting the final tenants from the Great House of Life, I continue the tradition by looting yet more stuff and eating all their shit. I spend some time looking at sacks on the wall before I notice some painfully obvious swag on the table and decide to pick that up post-haste. That about concludes my adventures in the cave. I wrap everything up and I return to town to sell some shit because of course I am a trader and I have a quota to fill. One thing I learned through my time in the cave is that I need a suit of armor with machine guns that can fire rockets so I can escape this hellhole. No, wait, that's the plot of the original Iron Man movie. What I learned is that mages are kind of weak and I need to get better at shooting Bazamp. So I end up making a staff for myself but lament that it's two-handed so I can't cast spells with it, and I make my way to the city to learn some more spells.
Not much good at teaching. You should try your luck at the College of Winterhold.
So that's exactly what I do. I catch a horse and cart up to Winterhold and I find the Mage College. After enrolling and getting enough student loans to keep me in debt for the rest of my life, I get a tour around the place and get shown to my new dormitory. Wait just a minute. And that about wraps it up for this session. Leave comments below in the forums and let me know what you think I should do next. Should I skip class, take some spells and go trading out on my own, or should I actually continue with the lectures?